Many thanks to the Business and Human Rights Resource Center for this opportunity. It is an honor for Cerrejón to be in the same room with the mother and the father of business and human rights, participating in this launch of the Mary Robinson Speaker Series. Now, a decade ago, a limited number of experts, NGOs, states, and interested CEOs were struggling to understand the connections between human rights and business. Today, a larger number of states and non-state actors have gained greater clarity on how companies may impact people, men, women, children, indigenous communities, through their hiring practices, the transport of goods, the outsourcing of services, procurement, construction of facilities, the purchase of land, the contracting of private security companies, and all those day-to-day activities companies perform. Indeed, it's been a busy and fruitful decade for this field. Much progress has been made. The fact that a Colombian mine, one of the largest open-pit coal mines in the world, is sitting here today is evidence of that. Businesses doing no harm and promoting rights is possible. It is possible to operate in complex environments, which means a great chunk of the planet. It does require heightened care, and it requires focus and political commitment. But there is much work ahead. We need to spread the word. Norms need to go global. We need to reach hundreds of thousands of businesses in Latin America, in Asia, in Africa, and in the North too. Businesses, NGOs, and unions and states need to speak the same human rights language. As we go to those places, we need to understand better the connections between economic development and the realization of rights. And we need to make sure that changes in society are real and that they stick. And Mary, you have given us excellent tools for the decade to come. It all started, I understand, in 2002 in a kitchen with a small chat about big things, including John Morrison sitting here in the audience, when the idea of creating Blair came up, the Business Leaders Initiative on Human Rights. Now, these committed folks, smart folks, thought of using your wisdom and your strength to convince important 500 Fortune companies to make up Blair. Now, Blair became rather influential, a very good experimental lab. ABB, General Electric, Novartis, Coca-Cola, and others underwent important corporate culture changes to create and test practical tools to introduce human rights into their operations. Blair existed during 6 years and did its job. Many workers and local communities around the world have already been impacted by that process. Now think of the huge multinationals involved in Blair and all the places in the world where they operate in. Blair is no longer there, but its legacy, your tangible impact is there. Now we have two offspring, the Institute on Human Rights and Business and the Global Business Initiative on Human Rights. You have given birth to many other initiatives, which is why it's suitable to call you the mother of business and human rights. Now, Cerrejón is a member of GBI, and this is the future you have helped to create. Cerrejón will be using the GBI platform and the Blair tools on human rights impact assessments and the Ruggie framework and the Ruggie guidelines on grievances to participate in key lessons sharing workshops in Latin America, to plant some more seeds there. We will work closer with the utilities companies around the world. We sell to about 70 major utilities companies in Europe, the US, Canada, Latin America, and are beginning to open markets in China. We will use those relationships to mainstream rights-based labor, environmental, and social standards. And we will carry on strengthening our human rights work on the ground in La Guajira where many indigenous peoples live. We see ourselves as key partners of local and national institutions in Colombia working to promote the rule of law, sustainable development, and democracy. We do it because we care about our country and because it is good business. It allows us to sell our product. Now, we've heard you're moving back to Ireland. I'm sure you understand that your calendar will not be empty. On the contrary, as we face the next phase in the development of business and human rights institutions, we will need leaders like you. Thank you.